All right, everybody, and welcome to Fourever Rivals. How is everybody?
Fantastic, boys. How are we going?
Good evening, rivals. Good evening, rivals.
Good evening, rivals. Now, first of all, we've already got some people here. Peter, Blue Bagger, straight away. He's getting straight stuck into it. Let's go. 0-3. 0-3 already.
Manny the loser. That hurts.
Manny the loser. Got my coffee ready for this one. Oh, look at
Why
this.
would you say
Got
that?
his
Why would
coffee
you say
ready,
that?
boys. So we've already got a nice little audience there. We've just got a couple of, before we start, just got a couple of new members, James Heath, and we've also got Anna. Anna has become a new member now. In the last week or so, we've probably picked up 30 new members, which has been pretty phenomenal from the channel. Now, you're all going to think, Manny probably thinks it's because of him, but it's not. We have got a new thing by our good friend Urg. Anyone that watched the Jumper Punch knows about, if you become a member of the Jumper Punch, he has brought out a new Bitcoin called Carlton Coin, and any new member to the Jumper Punch will receive 50,000 tokens for free, and you will receive that every month for the whole footy season. Now, they're worth about $40 at the moment, so they started at pretty much nothing, and within a week they're at about the $40 for the 50,000. So if you're a member of the Blue Abroad or Jumper Punch, you send in, I'll put the link below later, and you just send in a proof that you're a member, and he will airdrop you. Once you open up your wallet, he will drop. Now, just remember, no one's asking you to put any money in yourself. This is we're not giving you financial advice, nothing. This is just about, if you're a member and you'd like, he'll give you some free tokens. So that's it. So that's a new thing. And so now Rocking All Over the Birds is sponsored by Carlton Coin. Okay, so that's out of the way. All right. So and he's a fantastic man. He started this. It's a great incentive here. So anyone that wants to do it, as I said, if you watch the Jumper Punch today, you know all about it, and you'll get to hear more about it in the coming weeks. All right. Already we're going to start with Seba. Where is he? Show me. Seba, straight away. How are we, guys? Keen for another good show? He definitely will, man. I've got some big...
Evening, Seba. Evening.
Nah, he's good. Just quickly... we've just got Galicchio. He's a great fan of the show. Hi, Rock. I do not hold back on them tonight. I will not hold back. We've got here.
Good evening, Wayne.
He's my son. Magpies to win. So we got a whole heap, and we'll go through these. Thanks for everyone for joining in. All right. Now, let's get to the show, right? And first of all, I wasn't going to come on today, but we do need a winner on this show, since you three are just absolute. You're a disgrace to the Fourever Rivals. Between you, 0 wins this week. Between all of you, 1 win in 3 weeks. I can't believe it. It's an absolute disgrace. I just can't believe it. Oh, here we go. We got leave Quinn alone, please. Don't give him any thanks. No, we love Quinn.
Thanks, Seba.
All right. So I know there's a bit of a long intro. I just needed to get that stuff out with the other stuff. All that, and now we'll just go through everyone who hasn't been here. I'm Rocco, Carlton supporter, of course. You've got Manny on the top. He is one of the biggest losers, if you don't know, for sure. How you going, Manny?
Oh, fantastic, Rocco. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit later on about the Magpies and their 0-3.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah, we are. We will talk about that. But reigning premier, so who knows? Maybe we sit back and relaxing at the moment, but time will tell.
You can't. What did you just mention? What did you say?
I said time will tell.
All right.
Come on, mate. Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
I'm just
I said
saying.
time will tell.
You know the rules. What did we say? The rules were established at the start of the year. Were they not, everyone?
Look, the rules were established. You said to me that you don't want me to mention the fact that we won the premiership last year.
I don't get it. Like, how can someone be so silly? Like,
I'm just I want to let my viewers know. I want to let our viewers know about what the rules, the regs. You know what I mean?
All right, that's it. All right, that's all. So we've got Quinny here. Seriously, I love you, Quinn, but you and your team, they're just a disgrace at the moment. Anyone that wants to hear about how disgraceful they are, get onto Tiger Den. Hey, I've noticed the membership has gone up in recent weeks, has it? Oh, sorry, the subscribership.
It has. It has. So thank you to any rivals that have jumped on board. I really appreciate the support. At the moment, as you mentioned, Rock, we need it all right now. So I appreciate everybody.
But let's get on it. I noticed that you were probably at 187 or something. So I reckon, come on, guys, let's get that to 200 tonight. Everyone jump over and give him a subscribe. Tiger Den. Let's help the good man. All right. And the last but not least, well, very much least, but we have got Marco. Yous are a bunch of bloody losers too, mate. What is wrong with you? But anyway, Marco we are proudly sponsored by Corton Security Doors and Blinds. Quickly tell us about it there, mate.
Oh, obviously, give us a call and we'll offer you a free measuring quote. So if you're building a new home or you're renovating or, any friends and family out there that require some form of security doors or fly screens or indoor blinds, outdoor blinds, free measuring quote, 8339-4848, located in Craigieburn, local business. And obviously, just mention Fourever Rivals or the Jumper Punch or Rocco.
That's how you got to say it too. You got to go Rocco.
Rocco. You know what? You could even mention Manny or Quinn as well. So happy for 10% off if you mention any of those guys' names.
Let Rocco take all the glory, mate.
What do you get, Mark, if we mention Manny? We did say that there'll be a 10% surcharge, but whoever you mention, you will get 10% off the whole job. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's worth it. To be quite honest, you'll be quite surprised how much you can save. So, look, if you're out there, friends and family, just give us a call. We're happy to help out. Located, again, northern suburbs. Screw doors, blinds, outdoor blinds, roller shutters, here to help your home and your family and add some value to your home.
100%, man. Get everyone. I'm telling you, man, if you need something, local business, Corton, they do a great job. Get on there, man, and you'll get yourself a discount and also a great job. And, mate, and then if you've got any issues with Mark, you can just tell him directly in his face when you see him. What do you reckon about that? Hey?
Boom.
Mate, I'm telling you, man, they reckon you should be 50% surcharge for Manny. Look, it could be. All right, so let's get stuck into this. We have got a big week in football ahead. Let's have a look at what I've got planned. Oh, we have got, listen, it's Ramadan. And we did get, it's Ramadan here, isn't it? Still for the month. I think there's still another couple of weeks maybe. Yep. So, and we did get a message from somebody. So we just like to just have a look at this. One of our brothers.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Mate, it's gone all over the world, mate. We can't even handle even the site. Oh, here we go. Seba, you're going to go broke, mate. Can't wait to see the Pies go 0-4. We'll be talking about the fucking shit-house Pies, mate. They are seriously one of the worst teams I've ever seen, man. Unbelievable.
If I'm not mistaken,
I'm going to ask you a question. Could
I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, go.
If I'm not mistaken, and correct me, gentlemen, if I'm wrong, and I'm speaking about Mark and Quinn to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Carlton last year lost 6 in a row. They had the whole Carlton army turning on them, throwing scarves, abusing them, and they ended up playing finals football. Yeah? Yeah. So now you're talking about a 0-3. It's early days. Early days.
Oh.
Early days.
Anyway, you're 0-3. You're playing like pathetic, the worst premiership side I seriously have seen. Now, I'm going to pose a question to the audience out there, and the question is this, everyone. Is Mason Cox the worst player to ever win a premiership? If we can just get any sort of like we'll get some sort of replies out there. If we could, is Mason Cox the worst player to ever win a premiership in the history of AFL? Right, so we'll just leave that there. Here we go. We're already getting some. Yes. Yes, along with Billy Frampton, 2 possessions for the grand final. Billy Frampton. So, well, it could be Billy Frampton. We're not sure there, mate. We're not sure there. Wait a sec. We've got some more. We've got some more of Manny's family coming in. Let's go.
Going what? We're black and white. We bleed black and white, and we've always been an army wrecking me.
Hey, Uncle Jim, how are you, mate?
I know that Uncle Jim, and he was a brain surgeon until he became a Collingwood supporter, and that's what he's turned into. Yeah. So here we go. What do we got? Oh, we got a lot of Cox, Frampton. Who else? And Marco, it looks like it's pretty much the whole Collingwood side. Anyway, we've got one more thing. So our great friend here, Matula. We love Matula, don't we?
Good evening, Matula.
Here we go. We got her here, Matula. You're definitely premiers. You weren't when we lost 8 games in a row.
No,
exactly
you can't read. You can't read properly. It says you're the defending. You're reading properly or what? You're dyslexic.
Yeah, well, you're the premiers. You're the defending premiers, whatever.
Right,
you can't read properly, but you
people don't know this, but Rocco is actually dyslexic.
Yeah.
He got invited to a toga party. He got dressed up as a goat.
No, very good. Let's see. Does anyone find that funny? He must have wrote that. Anyway, Matula did send you a personal message. Do you want to hear it?
Well, if it's personal,
it's for you, but it's for everyone to hear. You want to hear it? Let's go for it.
Love watching the Fourever Rivals show, and you were very, very open, mouth-stirring from me the other day, saying how shit Carlton were. But let me remind you, we've won 2 games. You've lost 3, so I think you're shit. Rocco, as the Greeks do, they pass you through the rod and puts you on the spit and it turns and roasts you because we've won and you've lost and potentially you're going to lose another one.
What you're trying to say is you dislike Collingwood.
I do. Look, I love Manny because he's a fellow Greek and I like to see the good in all people, but across the line now, that's it. We're done. Mark's very delusional. They just won this one. Are they still learning yesterday when they lost?
No, I don't think they're learning.
But she's very efficient.
Yeah, very.
On the couch.
She was.
Quinn I like. I'll always like
Quinn. Everyone loves
Even
Quinn.
though I don't like Richmond because 10 years of being drilled by the Richmond fans after loss. But I like
Quinn's
the man.
the calming person on the couch.
The sound of
Reason. Yes,
whereas the other 2 are just, I don't know. Oh, we love him. He's the man, the myth, the legend.
How much did you pay to say that, Rock?
The man, the myth, the legend.
I didn't have to say anything, mate. We just put a mic there. We just put a mic there, and they just go. And she came as soon as she saw us, she came running, but she wanted to tell us what she thought about you guys there. So you could see what she's a great person. We love Matula. She's a great.
I can tell you that the Collingwood membership is going down.
There you go. She's answering your question, mate.
It was free. All right. It's all right. Much love, Matula. Much love.
So anyway, she gave you a little, and stay tuned because at the end we got a little bit more of our rocking all over the burbs, which I hope you're enjoying. So everyone, what a legend. Yes, she is a legend. What else we got? No regrets. No, he's disappeared. He's probably down in the basement somewhere. The goat is better than a zebra. Yeah, no one likes bloody zebras, black and white. If you watched my rant last night, you'll know what I think about Collingwood and zebras. All right, let's get into this. Because we have got a big show ahead, and let's get stuck into some of the issues for this week. So let's go. I'm still dying, mate. Manny, you're done, mate. You're done. Even your fellow Greeks are jumping ship, mate. Even your fellow Greeks are jumping ship.
No. Look, Matula had the right to speak her mind. I think she was holding back because I did say that Carlton were looking like a pretty average side for the year. But she's right. I mean, at the moment, we're 0-3. Something needs to change. Will it change? Time will tell, but we'll talk more about it a little bit later on. But I
think you've got a friend in my son. He must like you for some reason. Manny,
well, Dylan's a gentleman.
Know what he's talking about.
Dylan is a gentleman.
I remember Collingwood are the reigning premiers. Yeah, they are the reigning. I did say they're the premiers. They're the reigning premiers. They are. They're the
reigning premiers. That's right. Look, Dylan's a gentleman. He is a gentleman. He speaks from the heart, as did Matula. So I'm taking that on board, Matula. As the Greeks would say, the Greeks say "signomi," which means sorry in Greek, and we'll just
you got to make it up to her because she's a great fan of the show, and she's
yes, she is.
As they say, many mate, the Italians do it better.
Oh, we always do it better.
Relax.
Hey?
We have got a question here. Have you got your membership yet?
Who are you talking to?
We know that we've got our membership, so we must be talking to you.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Are you asking me about my membership?
You talking to me?
Are you talking about my membership?
He did get one.
I've had my membership for a long time, brother. Long time.
Wow. Now, this is the best, man. I've been waiting for this. Let me just have my say here. You are the worst supporter in the world. The worst.
How can you say that?
Membership after you win the grand final. You never support your side. You've never been a member of the Collingwood. You lied, and now you went after they won the premiership. You went and got a membership. You know what that's called? That's called driving the bandwagon bus.
Mate, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Great. Let me talk. You weren't a member for the last 52 years. And you got a membership after they won a grand final. You are a Ken.
I'm waiting.
Barbie. Let me talk and then I'll give you your chance. You are Ken Barbie. You are the worst plastic supporter I've ever seen in my life. You are a bandwagon supporter. That is a disgrace. I would have rather that you never even got a membership. You have fallen into the trap. What a disgrace.
Patch,
and the good
patch
thing is,
number 17.
I'll take you off. The one thing that you, Barbie, Ken, and Collingwood have got in common is you've got no balls. You are a disgrace. You are a disgrace. And since you're there, it's about time we
patch
show
17.
the new mannerisms. So we've got all last year lied about having a membership. He told us his membership was in the car. We can go on. People can screenshot this. Kingston McStay is a midfielder. Didn't know Tony Shaw's jumper number. I mean, we can go on and on. Lost Collingwood quiz 7-5. And the new ones are decided he goes and buys a membership only after they win the flag. What a disgrace. And actually last week he lied about people seeing me at the Brisbane game, so he's trying to make up stuff there too. Can you please change your name to fucking Ken? You are a Barbie doll.
Hey,
Get that membership and wipe your ass with it.
I have just sent number patch 17. Patch 17.
Show me.
Which I've sent it to get it. It's been sent.
You've been a member for 17 years straight, have you?
Yes, I have.
All right, I want to see that. Shut up. I've checked your
No. You like to talk the talk. You've said enough. You know
because
what I mean?
I know you're a liar.
If it wasn't for my son to say to me,
they sent
Dad,
you the membership, but they didn't send you the patch. They sent you the membership, but they didn't send you the patch. You know they send you the patch when they send you a membership.
Of course they do. I just said to you. I just said to you. Yes, they do. And I just said to you. I've sent the patch to get it done professionally on one of my jumpers, and I'll be wearing it proud next week. Now, you've said what you've said.
Patch did you go and borrow?
Had it been,
did you go and borrow?
Listen,
we know for a fact, man.
If it hadn't been for my son to sit there and say to me, Dad, you've just got to make sure you put a corkscrew in his mouth. You've got to shut him up.
You went and bought a membership after you won. You weren't a member last year. You weren't a member last year, correct? Is that correct, Manny? You weren't a member last year.
Yeah, I told you I've been a member for 17 years.
Were you a member last year? You told us online that you weren't a member.
Listen.
Were you just to answer the question.
You want to play the game. You don't want to play the game.
Were you a member last year? Were you a member last year? Because we know you weren't. We know you weren't. So you lied about. Now you're lying about the 17 patch. What
Now, move on.
Move on. I want to know why you're lying. You know, you said to us on camera last year that you weren't a member. We caught you out.
Rocco,
correct?
You wanted me to keep it a secret.
You weren't a member, Manny. Don't lie.
If it wasn't
Don't
for my
make
son
your records.
to keep on saying to me, Dad, to show them the membership. Right?
And you bought a membership after you won the grand final.
No.
Yes, you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
No.
I know someone that was working at the bloody Collingwood membership place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. You do. You do know someone there. Yeah. Turn the other page. Yeah, go on, mate. Stop your boring me.
We know someone that worked there, didn't we?
Yeah. No, you didn't. Quinn worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know someone that worked there.
So don't turn Quinn into something that you want him to turn into, because he ain't going to say something that you want him to say. Yeah.
I'm not asking him to say something. I said I know someone who worked there, and you weren't a member last year.
His facial expression says
you weren't a member, Manny. You're a liar.
He doesn't want to embarrass you. He doesn't want to embarrass you.
You're a plastic Ken supporter. You are the worst supporter Oh, I'm at front of the bandwagon. Look at me, look at me. And you know what's funny? Soon as he bought a membership, they start to lose every game. You're a disgrace. You are one big disgrace. Let's move on.
Waste of money, man. Waste of money, mate. Waste of money.
I really can't be bothered with liars. I 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 cannot be bothered with liars, Manny. You're a liar, and you've been shown up on camera. You can do that as much as you want. You can do that as much as you want. You became a member after you won the grand final.
1920.
You became a member after they won the grand final. That is a disgrace. An absolute disgrace.
What does that say? What does that say?
Let's move on. Let's move on.
What does that say? Members 2024. What does this say? Members 2023. Do you want me to
get up? You told us that you got your membership from your cousin last year, you banana. You can't even remember your lies anymore.
Stop it.
You can't even remember your lies anymore.
Oh, actually, this doesn't even have my name on it.
It wouldn't have your name on it.
No.
Anyway, let's move on. We've all caught out Manny.
What's happened there? Should have my name on there.
Even Peter and Bluebagger remember. You actually said it last year that it was your cousin's membership, and now you're going back on it.
Rocco, listen.
You know what I'm going to do next week?
You're
because
right.
I've got the clip. I've got all the videos. I've got all the videos
Rocco,
saved. The next week, I'm going to clip up. I'm going to clip up what you said.
Rocco, you write the script. Then you change the script on us live. Come on, Rocco.
What was the script? What was the script?
What were we going to talk about? I think we were talking about the
script. What was the script?
Were we going to talk about the umpiring?
What was the script?
I don't know. You seem to tell us one thing and now you changed to another.
I haven't changed to another. Ask about your membership, and then you clearly and blatantly lied to everyone. You're talking to everyone like they're fools. You've been an absolute disgrace. Anyway, let's move on because the one thing I can't stand is liars. And you've proved yourself to be an absolute liar.
You wanted to see the membership.
You are a disgrace.
I'm showing you the membership.
I know. And I'm telling you that you bought it after you won the grand final.
Move on, Rocco.
You bought it after you won the grand final. You admit you're a bandwagon supporter. You've been to 2 games in 2 years. You're a bandwagon. All right, let's get into this one here that everyone wants to talk about. How are we going here? How are the boundary umpires going this year? There's been three blatant bad decisions in the last 3 weeks.
I didn't think any umpires would be worse than the goal umpires not being able to make a decision anymore, but they've proved me wrong. Just when I thought I couldn't be proved wrong, the boundary umpires went and did it. They are the most blatant out of bounds I have seen in a long time. And I don't know. Do the umpires can they get dropped? Can they get put back to the Magoos? Because something's going to happen.
That's my question. Yeah, something needs to be done. Yeah. Something needs to be done.
They seem to be a bit hesitant in calling it out of bounds or, in play. So, they're professional umpires. I think the concern is what happens is that if it's out of bounds and for some reason there's a goal kicked, it should be reviewed, obviously, because now everything needs to be reviewed. Whether it's, I think there was a player last week that, touched the bottom of his foot, and they had to review that. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on, mate? Now it's becoming the foot or the elbow or the hair tie, or you might as well start wearing wristbands that are about 5 inches, thick, and then they might touch the wristband. So, yeah, I mean, how far is it going, boys? How far is this going, mate? Like,
I think they've taken away the ability for the goal umpire to make a decision, right? Because every time there's you're caught up between making two decisions there, these close calls, and the umpires, for some unknown reason, it's like they're afraid. They're afraid. It's like they've been taken. Their power's been taken away for them to turn around and say, you know what, that's my decision. That's it. Move on. Right?
Exactly.
And
that's exactly my point, Manny.
And then you're getting these other umpires who are sitting there and they could see it, because if you have a look at the Collingwood St Kilda one, right, the umpires were right there. They were right there. Two of them.
Two umpires.
Unless they were sitting there talking about where they're going to go and eat Thai, or where they're going to go to Northcote to have some fish and chips at Christo's restaurant, because, mate, they had no idea. Seriously.
What about should we take away the 1-2 mark, because he went over?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously you took the mark out of bounds, but the umpire didn't call it, right? So you let that go because there was no score involvement.
But that's the same as any decision. I mean,
you might as well just start.
They just let it go. You can't just make it because it was your one. Like, they should have been brought back. There was no score involved. Yeah, so yes, there was, because he kicked it in, and it directly. It was a direct goal to Essendon straight after that.
Yes, or in that way.
So should they take that one back?
Well, let's go a step back.
Was it a throw?
Let Mark speak.
It's just like saying, was it a throw when you hand pass it to somebody and playing on?
No, but he marked it. What you're saying is, all I'm saying is, you said he marked it. If they mark it, and it involves then a goal directly after that, they should review it. Your one should have been reviewed then.
Well, yeah, exactly right. Exactly, that's my point. If it wasn't regarding a result in the score, then what do? Do you just go play on, or you just move on? But that's
umpires are making too many mistakes, and they're making mistakes where, and I'll give you an example, right? And I'm not afraid to sit here and I'm not going to hide behind my little finger, because I can tell you right now, you can see me. Last year, grand final, okay, that should have been called a free kick. Now, why they called it play on is beyond me, right? But it's things like that, you know, that make a big difference. Now, it wasn't as if Collingwood was up by, a mile. They're up by 4 points, right? And this is where umpires are too scared to say, bang. And I don't know whether, they lose their bonuses? Are they going to be going, and they're going to be going down to VFL for a month? I don't know, but for some unknown reason, they're afraid to just say, you know what, we're in charge. This is how we're going to do it, and we're going to right. And if it's something that's too obvious, that's way too obvious, then if you think you've got to get the video, whatever you want to call them, the fourth umpire to get involved, then do so, right? Collingwood St Kilda, right? First goal that Collingwood kicked, that wasn't a mark. Now, the moment you could quickly review that and say, it wasn't a mark, boom, get it done with. We just, we look pretty average. We look pretty average. You look at the EPL in England, right? It's a fast-moving game, probably not as fast as the AFL, right? But they've got the system working so well. They got referees there, bang, 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 between each other. Communication is so quick, and it's within 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, they've made a decision. With us, bring the ball back, or did he tip his finger? Did he do this? Did he do that?
Listen, you've been talking for like 5 minutes.
Hang on. If it's too obvious, then, if it's not so obvious, then just let it go.
Let it go, mate.
Anyway, listen, no one's taking you serious anymore. Even they're saying, Manny, you're a liar. Your name's not on the membership. I don't think anyone can take you seriously anymore. But what you said, I'm just going to quickly. What you said is, and I did speak to Manny during the week, and he reckons that. There
you go. Is that going to keep everybody happy? There you go. Thank you very much. Well, you can't open your eyes, Rocco.
I can't see anything. Anyway,
Yeah.
Ken over there reckons he's
Yeah.
a member. Ken, no balls.
What does it
Ken, Manny.
What does it say?
Let's get
Marco,
back
what
to
does it
this.
say? Marco, what does
We
it say?
can't see, man. We can't see your name. You can't see it.
Yeah,
It says Essendon FC.
Anyway, listen. What Manny did speak to me during the week, and he reckons, I don't agree. You can't be calling back decisions on the ground. That's now. You talk about fasting, making the game faster, and all of a sudden you want to call back if it's a mark or something. That is just ridiculous. I did ask Manny. He reckons it's happening all over the field. I did ask Manny to put together some videos to prove his point. Have you done that, Manny?
No.
No. Oh, well. Again, he just rocks up 1 minute before the show and then expects everything to be done by everyone else.
No,
he also said that in the soccer, they actually make decisions on the ground and they change them. I don't believe that's true. They don't do that. They only do it for offside or goals, just like in the AFL. So, again, I asked Manny to put together a bunch of videos to show us that the soccer does that. Have you done that, Manny?
No, I haven't.
Crickets. No. That's all I heard. Crickets. Anyway, my thing is that those decisions were blatantly bad. The ones that we'll start with the out of bounds one. They were blatantly pretty obvious, So, but what do you like? What's the solution? Everyone's going all right. They were right, and the three have come up pretty quick in the last 3 weeks, right? So they're really standing out, right? They're really standing out. So what are they supposed to do? You know what I mean? Quinn, you haven't spoken. What are they supposed to do about those decisions? Like, you can't bring it back. You can't get the ball, go bang, bang, and then all of a sudden go, oh, that was out, and then bring it back. You can't. I don't believe they can do that. Mark, you want it to be fastened up, but that will just slow down the game completely.
Play on. No, that's the key, mate. Just play on, mate. It's an umpire's decision. You can call out of bounds.
They
just
did.
play on. If
But
it's a mistake, it's a mistake.
But they did.
Yeah, no, you can't in those situations, especially with the boundary line. You can't do anything. I think the only thing we can say to improve, you just want the umpires to do better, I guess. But you're not going to call the footy back. Unfortunately, it's going to be one of those bits where it will get called wrong. I think the reason it was highlighted so much was because there was 3 incidences over the weekend. Normally, if you get one of those every few weeks, no one questions it. No one says, well, he made a mistake. Because it's happened 3 times in the space of a week, everyone's making a big deal of it. That, on top of all the goal review stuff that's happening, and it's all getting bundled together, that's why it's such a talking point. In terms of the boundary line, there's not much you can do. Did they get the Higgins one wrong? Yes. The Langford one wrong? Yes. The Waterman one? Yeah, they're all wrong. But we move on, and you just want them to do better next time. That's all you can say, really.
Obviously, Quinn and the umpires are just scared to make that decision because they're so reliant now on the reviews. So they're just saying, I don't know, or we'll just review it. And then,
get rid of the review. Get rid of it completely. Go back 20 years ago. Go back 20 years ago.
You had a boundary line umpire and a field umpire right in front of it. They should have just called out of bounds or play on.
Yeah, I know, but Mark, I agree with the play on, right? I agree with you, right? But what you're kind of contradicting yourself here, right?
No, I'm not.
They did call play on. There was no call. We're only highlighting it because it's 3 in a row, right? We're only highlighting it, right? They are making their decisions. They made a call that was in, right? They are making their decisions. They're doing exactly what you're asking them to do, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they are blatant mistakes, but that's about it. There's nothing more you can do. That you say, I don't know if it was Manny or that say, they were right there. They saw it. You say that, but what they do is, especially like the Higgins one, they slow it down, they freeze it, and then it's a millimetre out, right? What did you want the umpire? Maybe he saw it was in. He made a call. Just leave it, right? The same with the goal umpire. Everyone goes, it was easy. We saw it after you see like 20 bloody slow motion replays. You talk. But I've heard a goal umpire say, it's not that easy. we have got players in front of us. We've got a screen. We've got a crowd behind us. The ball's coming over. You know what I mean? So sometimes it can be confusing for them. You know what I mean? So, I believe that the goal review is fine. They've got to fix up the cameras. They definitely have to fix up the cameras. But someone else mentioned that here. I can't find it now. But Mark, that idea about 3 goal reviews by the captain isn't a bad idea. Let the umpire make a call. If they think it's wrong, they get to have 1 challenge or 3 challenges.
No.
But you do notice that the goal umpire has more options to review as opposed to the boundary.
Well, the boundary umpire's got no option.
Well, that's right. So that's what I'm just. That's my theory of being contradicting is that the goal umpire can go score review, but why doesn't the boundary umpire go?
Because then now you're opening up a can of worms, Mark.
Well, that's right. That was my point a couple of weeks ago when I was saying that there's too many options now for these reviews because it could be somebody in the middle of the ground, center of the bounce, and he's throwing the ball instead of hand passing, score review.
But they don't do that, Mark. That's not the issue here. They don't do that.
But they will start doing that because
they won't. I don't believe they haven't.
How many umpires have they got? How many umpires have they got?
We're talking field or boundary?
Oh, on the field you got 4. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. And how many you got on the boundary? 4. Isn't there?
There's 2 or 3 aside, I think. Yeah.
I think there might be 2 on either side, I think.
Okay.
That's a lot of umpires.
All right.
I know, but it's a big ground.
They're not getting it right, Rocco. There's a big problem there. Okay. These umpires need to be getting fined heavily. Something needs to be done. You understand? It's you want to be passionate about the game, but you want to see if it's something that, it's, touch and go, you're not sure. But something that stands out like dogs' balls. Come on, mate.
But that Higgins one was right on the line. It was out by like a millimetre. Like you want to find the umpire for making a decision.
Okay.
But
you
can't find an umpire for making about. I mean, you can send them back to the seconds or something if it's something like, I don't know. I can't even imagine what it is. But these decisions on the ground, to me, well, what are you going to do about it? You're saying they're blatant, but they're not. A lot of them aren't blatant. There's just been a couple that have stood out in the last couple of weeks. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
that's all.
That can cost a lot of games and cost a
They
fine.
can, but it's umpiring. What do you want? Well, if we go through every game, I guarantee we'll find.
You've got to be more professional in umpiring the game. That's what they're getting paid to do, mate.
But they are professional, Mark.
I'll tell you something you don't know.
Up for them, but they are professional. They're full-time umpires. Like, they've made a mistake. It's the same. Players make mistakes every day too. Every game, your player make mistakes.
You probably don't know this.
It's not making mistakes.
In the EPL,
it's not making the decision. It's not about making mistakes. They're not comfortable in making that decision because they're scared of the scrutiny of what could happen later on. So it's not about them being – they're professionals, but they're hesitant because there's too many cameras now and there's too many slow-mos. So they're hesitating in making that decision. If it's out of bounds, it's out of bounds. If it's play on –
But they do. But that's out of bounds. I just showed you. That's clearly – I'm telling you, what you just said there is correct. That the goal umpires, right, just like cricket umpires now, have got the choice to go up. They've been scrutinised. So now, if they've given them the choice that they can go up for a review, they will take it. Because you know why? Because then people like us get on screen and we scrutinise them.
Yeah.
Right? That's why. So who's fault?
Add another 2 umpires on each side, mate. The AFL.
You just said we've got too many. Now you want to add another 2. That's not going to fix the problem.
It might fix the problem. So they'll before reviewing it, they go, that was a point. That's it. Move on.
But you're saying don't review it. Now you want to add more umpires.
Add more umpires so they don't have to review it. They don't have to waste the game. He'll go straight to the umpire and say, they hit the post.
Also,
hit the post.
The other thing is a lot of inconsistency. There's a lot of inconsistency because I'm not. Maybe I'm confused here, but as far as I know, holding the ball means if I've got the ball and the other the opposition grabs me and I've got the ball in my hands and I drop the ball, that's holding the ball. Yes.
But you need prior opportunity.
Okay. But hang on, let me finish. I seen on a number of occasions where the opposition grabs the player. He's got plenty of time to get rid of the ball. The ball swings out of his hands. Play on.
Yeah, I know. But then you got to look at it and say, was it knocked out of his hands? Like, did he have prior opportunity? Like, there's too much to it. You're trying to simplify these decisions, but they're not that simple. My issue is that not with the umpiring. My issue is the interpretation of the rules. The umpires don't even know themselves now, right? That's the issue. It's not about the decisions they're making. Yes, sometimes they get them wrong, but so what? I think, and Terry came up with a good point yesterday, football should be a grey sport where we're not sure about some decisions. It's the way the game is. Because it's so fast, they're coming in from every direction. Bada bing, bada boom. I think that it should be grey at times. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is in the interpretation of some of these rules. Do you touch him in the back? Is it a push? Is it deliberate out of bounds? Was he intending? You know, when he went up for a ruck, did he hold him back? You know, did he take his eyes off the ball? The interpretation is wrong. Quinn?
Yeah, the biggest issue with our game, and I don't mind a bit of grey area, like you said, Rock. The biggest issue with our game, and we're the only sport in the world that I know of that has so many rules that can be interpreted in 100 different ways for the same ruling. Like again, the holding the ball, we know what it says on paper, but the way the umpire, determines that is completely different. He could say he had prior, he didn't have prior, got knocked out in the tackle, he didn't, whatever it might be, like you were saying, Rock. If there's too many different versions of what might have taken place depending on who's looking at it. And you see that when we're at the game. If I'm sitting there and I'm watching Richmond play and something happens, sometimes I'll go with my girlfriend who's a Carlton supporter, completely neutral at that game and goes, you're just seeing that through your Richmond lens. And it's the same for everybody. No one wants to admit it, but you see things in the way that suit you best. The umpires will see it in one way, and you're never going to agree. Did they get it wrong? Yes. And I trust me, I complain more than anybody about the way the mistakes these guys make, but they're going to keep making these mistakes. You're not going to get reviews on the boundary line. That's impossible. Imagine every ball up, every throw in. Never going to happen. Never going to happen.
You're not going to get it on the ground either, Quinn.
No, 100%. You're not going to get them on the ground. They're just going to be mistakes that are made, and you live on those. You know what I mean? We've all won and lost games on umpiring decisions, and we're going to do it again. It's going to frustrate the shit out of you, or you're going to be up and about because it's worked in your favor. The only we've said this before on the show 100 times. They've just got to get the goal review system better. They're going to get better cameras and all that sort of stuff. That's the only improvement we're going to make. I don't think there's nothing else we can do. You're just going to have to live with mistakes, and that's as simple as it is.
And Mars come up with, I did ask Mars, he's a tech bloke in my group of friends here, and he reckons, they've just got to spend money on the cameras. I mean, if you look at the F1, they're going at like 500 k's an hour, and they can zoom in, slow it down, and they can see to a millimeter. They've spent the money. The problem is, I think, with the technology is what I heard is that the AFL don't want to pay for it because if you do it, you've got to put it at every ground, right? And the broadcast don't want to pay for it. So now they're in lockerheads of who's going to pay for the technology, right? Yeah. So the AFL don't want to pay for it because they're saying, well, you're the one doing the vision. You work it out. And they're saying, well, it's your game. You pay for it, So
the AFL hasn't got money. The AFL doesn't have any money. That's the problem.
Spot on with Mars. They're saying that.
See what I mean? Words of wisdom from Quinn. Yes.
But the Grand Prix and all these basketballs, they're world game. sports. We're not world, you know.
But
So
it
they've
doesn't
got the
matter. They
money.
make enough money. I mean, just from the broadcast, they're getting $1.5 billion.
The Grand Prix and you know, basketball and soccer, that's a world premier game. So they've got billions and billions of dollars to get this shit right? We're the AFL, Australian Football League. So they might not have the funds to do it, even though we
Come on, man. You don't reckon, like, we were trying to work it out. It couldn't be more than $10 million, let's say. I'm just throwing out a figure, right? Let's say it's 10 million. What, we can't put proper cameras around every ground for 10 million? They just got $1.5 billion for their broadcasting rights.
Yeah.
Plus, they make money on a weekly basis, right? You're trying to say they can't invest $10 million?
Rock, you know the problem? The problem is it's not that it's the effort. You look at it, if it's the MCG, 100% they'll spend the money at the G. Optus Stadium, their new baby, absolutely. Marvel Stadium, they'll put those big 80-inch like Manny's TV there on the wall. Yeah, Giant Stadium's got the big screens, no problem. But do you think they're going to spend money at Mars Stadium in Ballarat or Teo Stadium or Manuka Oval? They're not spending the money. And if you're not going to do it at all the grounds, you're not going to do it at all. And I don't. That's half the issue. They're not going to do it at these little grounds. And until they do, and they're going to prioritize where they spend their money. If they're charging me $15 for a beer, and I know that's the stadium, not the AFL, but I'm sure the stadiums can chop out when I'm paying $15 for every beer I'm going to at the moment. And no doubt commission goes to the AFL. They've got the money. They just don't want to spend it.
100%. And if they, you know what, and if you do want to play at these backward grounds, right, because they want to like showcase the game, well, then spend the money. Don't want to go and play there, and then you don't want to spend the money.
Apparently, they've been spending a lot of money to try and promote or to try and design the new jumper for the Tasmanian team. I don't know if you've seen it, but apparently that's just what the jumper's going to look like.
Yeah.
That's the new design.
I just say something?
That's where millions and millions of dollars are going towards.
Can I say something? Just quickly, just on the comments here. Rat poison. The rat poison and the rest of your name there. I've told you this before. You make great comments, but I'm hesitant in putting up your name. I don't want to put up your name on our screen. You have to change it. I can't put up that name. It just doesn't sit well with me. So change your name because you write great comments. Rat poison and then the rest of it. You know how
he had his name last year, but you didn't like it, so now he's gone to that name.
No, he's always been that, even last year. But anyway, that was just a quick one off topic. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Let's move on to the next thing. We did have something big here. Let's have a look at what we got here. Oh, all right, let's have a look at this one here. This is a bit of a for Marco. This is going to be a good conversation. Peter Wright handed 4-match ban. Now, I don't know. Have they appealed it, Quinn?
Not that I've heard of. I think they were just going to let this one ride. From as far as I know, I could be proven wrong, but I haven't heard anything about an appeal just yet.
All right. Just so before we go, I've just got a little bit. I've put together a little bit of video, just a little bit. I don't want to get copyrighted, but I've put this together. Maybe we can get a bit of a look at it. So let's have a look at this. Bang.
Great bump, mate. Great bump.
Bang.
Fuck. Football bump, mate. Football bump.
All right, so we had a massive discussion on Jumper Punch last night. Jumper Punch went for 4 hours, and it was an unbelievable session. I know, unbelievable. But hey, everyone was there right till the end. People were telling us we're not leaving till you leave, so we ended up staying 4 hours. We had a bit of fun, but we had a massive discussion about this, and my rant was this discussion here. Did you hear it?
No, I did watch you guys last night, mate. Fantastic.
Yeah, so I did the rant, and I did mean everything I said about Collingwood and Essendon. I still mean that. You're a bunch of bloody wankers. But you heard my opinion about this. I want to hear your opinion, especially you, Mark, right, about that decision. Let's go for it.
Yeah. Look, honestly, Rock, you were spot on last night watching the show, The Jumper Punch, in the attempt to obviously go for the ball and protecting himself. Look, you've got 4 weeks. We've got to try and move forward now at this stage. But I'm a firm believer. Let's now start getting rid of the full forward position and the centre half forward position. What's a forward mean? What is that? What is a forward? A forward is somebody that goes forward to the ball. That's my reason. Yeah. If somebody's coming on the side or coming back behind the pack, you're taking a big risk at a forward coming that hard at the ball. So Peter Wright is going for the ball. Last second, he's protected himself. Now, do you want him to attempt, like a commentator was saying, at least attempt to go for the mark? Bring your arms out. If he brought his arms out, that guy would have been at the fucking Austin Hospital, mate. All right? Or number 2, Peter Wright would have had a broken arm or a chest or ribs or whatever the case may be. He's just coming back from a 10-week injury from his shoulder. So he's protecting himself. Split second decision. Don't worry about the replays, what it sees. And even the replay shows that there was no elbow, there was no shoulder involved. It was his bicep or tricep that hit the player that apparently knocked him out. They brought out the stretcher, made a big thing out of it, and the guy didn't even go off on a stretcher. He actually walked off.
But to be fair, he was knocked out for a sec. So once they get knocked out,
the trainer might have said, stay down and make it look worse than what it was.
He was knocked out. So to be fair, he was knocked out. But I don't care about that. Enzo makes a good point. If you don't go for the ball, he would have been scrutinised. Go hard for the ball, and you get.
He's a full forward, mate. He's 110 Ks and 6'5". So
the way he ran. The way he ran towards the player, it shows me clearly that he had no issue about carrying an injury, because a player who's carrying an injury, right, in the back of their mind, they'd be hesitant, right? I reckon he's over his injury. Where he went wrong was that, yes, all right, at the end, the split second, he's turned his shoulder, he's braced himself. That's something that you'll do automatically to protect yourself. What he should have done is he should have just, at the pace that he was going, he should have just extended his arm, at least try and go for the ball. And I think that's where they've decided, bang.
Nah,
4
that's
weeks.
bullshit, man. I'm sorry to say, mate. At the end of the day, the guy did not get reported. There was no free kick. There was no 50-minute penalty.
Not even a free kick.
The umpires saw it as a live action, as 2 players. You know what? That Sydney player should have been reported for his negligence and the duty of care, because he's going sideways. He should have seen Peter Wright coming at him, and maybe he should have backed off or protected himself.
I want to hear.
Don't start losing the forwards for this game, mate, because what's going to happen? These forwards, these big forwards, are not going to start going for the ball. You know that, Rock, yeah? Kerno's going to go for the ball next week. He's going to think twice about going for that ball, because some 5-foot guy is going to come sideways and interrupt him, and he's going to go, oh shit, I better not go for the ball. It's becoming a joke. Wayne Carey, mate, he's not going to watch the football for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, I heard that.
No big deal, mate. No big deal.
That
Talk about Wayne Carey. Talk about someone serious. Talk about someone serious.
Wayne Carey arguably won it. Wayne Carey, arguably one of the best footballers and most courageous footballers to play the game. So he does know what he's talking about, Matty. So let's biggest disgrace. Anyway, listen. I just want.
There was no real intent. Peter Wright did not. They didn't go and go back to the tribunal to get less. You know what? He just said, for the better of the game and to the safety of the players, I'll cop me 4 weeks. And you know what? Good on you, Peter. But I'll tell you right now, mate. Last year, that Maynard, that thug, right? The ball wasn't even nowhere near the player, and knock a guy out that is retired this year because of that. So and now they're changing it all of a sudden. Yeah,
well, now Seba made
10 weeks. Right, 10 weeks.
Seba made the thing, you're saying that, Manny, but Maynard got off and he got to play in your fraud grand final last year because of that. So, and I think because of that decision is one of the reasons why he got 4 weeks, right? So now, just quickly, I agree with Mark. I think that Manny wants to talk and say, oh, he should have put his arm out and that. What they're showing you, again, is in slow motion. This slow motion is bullshit, man. It really ruins the game because this didn't happen in slow motion. This happened within seconds. To me, if you go back and watch that footage, and I only showed you point of contact, but if you look back, Peter Wright, and I hate Essendon. I wish nothing but misery for him, right? But Peter Wright, he was going for the mark. He saw the ball. If you look at him, he was looking at that ball the whole way, and he was going for the mark. And if he didn't go for that mark, we would have scrutinized him to say, you're weak. You are weak, right? Soon as he's seen Cunningham there, right, he had no choice but to brace himself, right, and protect himself, right? And that's exactly what happened in a split second, right? That's exactly what happened. People go, he took his eyes off the ball at the end. Yeah, so would you if you see someone coming at you.
If you're going for the ball,
let me finish.
Reach your arm out, something.
What are you talking about? In the last second, he sees a player and you don't protect yourself. I'm going to run at you. When we go and do our bowling challenge, I'm going to run at you and I want to see you put your arm out. You're going to protect yourself. If we take this out of the game, right, players are going to second guess what they do. We scrutinize these players. We absolutely tell them to go hard. Put your head over the ball. If we see him go soft and duck, just the way Nick Dacos does, right, we scrutinize him. We punish him. But as soon as they go hard, then we say, oh, he's gone too hard. Where is the balance here? Quinny, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, I was on board with everything Mark had to say until he mentioned the Sydney Swans player should be reported for going contested footy. You lost me with the Swans. Well, he can't get suspended for going at the ball, Mark. He didn't do anything wrong. He can't get suspended for being negligent. That's not a rule.
Well, it is, because
it's not. Well, nothing happened to Peter. If he came in from the side, jumped up and clipped 2 meter Peter in the face, then we have a conversation. But he got knocked out himself. You're not going to suspend him for that. But I agree with what you said. Personally, this is my opinion. What he did, nothing wrong. He had eyes to the footy. You see it in the build-up to it. He's running at it. He's jumped up. He thought, oh, shit, brace. The only thing that got him suspended was the fact that he was in the air and he turned slightly and he clipped him high. Yeah. That's what got him. I think 4 weeks – I think was too much, but I think because they're trying to protect their head, they're trying to save players from, getting concussed and all this sort of stuff. There did need to be that suspension. I don't agree with it. I think that he did nothing wrong. I think it was just unlucky the way it panned out. I think 4 weeks was definitely too much. And we talk about the Maynard one. I think the Maynard one was in the same boat. I don't think Maynard did anything wrong. I know a lot of people disagree with that. I don't think Maynard did anything wrong. He jumped up. It was a football act. He tried to smother it. He came down awkwardly, protected himself. Maynard got off. Yes. Now, whether they're looking at that and saying we fucked up, now we've got to punish players from now, that's probably what they're doing. Yes?
No.
I think it probably is. I don't think they made a mistake with the Maynard one. I think Maynard should have gotten off. I agreed with it. And I reckon, if you had asked me this a few months ago, 2 meter Peter should have gotten off as well. But because of what we know and the way they're trying to change it, they've got to set the precedents early. They've already given big suspensions. Look at the Jimmy Webster one. Obviously, I'm not comparing the situations, but they're giving these big suspensions, and they're trying to make a point. Now, I don't think 2 meter Peter had any other option to do what he did other than what he did. It's just unfortunate Cunningham got knocked out. I think that's as simple as it is.
Dribble, you're speaking, get a fucking grip. Greta, you were saying the same thing about Mark was about Maynard last year, and you were, and now you're changing it because it's things.
Completely different thing. Completely different thing.
Not completely different thing. Why are they completely different?
It went
Why are they
to
completely different? How are they completely different? Maynard was doing the same thing. He was going up. He
very
seen
different.
him once,
Very
he jumped,
different.
and he collected him.
Very different. Very
Why?
different. Because it was very different.
How?
And it was proven. They brought the expert in. They brought the expert in, and they proved it.
No,
it was the mechanic.
No,
the way he ran to the ball, it was unavoidable. You're comparing apples with
Peter
oranges.
Wright. What was Peter?
No.
Why didn't Maynard spoil? Why didn't he spoil?
He did try to spoil. He did try to spoil.
He didn't.
Of course he did. He put his whole body in front.
Mate, he went into him and almost killed him. Shut up. Listen to me. You can't go one way and another. Maynard, I believe, should have got off. So should Peter Wright. You're talking about a split. Be consistent, Manny. Be consistent.
All right. Why don't we do this?
Should have been off.
All right. Why don't they do this? Okay. Why don't they do this, right? Why don't they sit there and realize, okay, and I'd like to hear what the viewers have got to say, right? Now, what's wrong with introducing a small fitted, like a helmet?
They don't help. They prove they don't help.
They don't help?
Brayshaw, you retired. He wore one all his life.
It doesn't help?
No, because what happened is, yeah, go.
Well,
sorry, quick.
Sorry. I was going to say the problem is, Manny, they might make a minuscule difference, right? But the problem is with the concussion, if I come at you and I run at full pelt and hit you hard enough in the body, I can give you a concussion from a body shot because your brain rattles in the brain just from impact. So it doesn't necessarily even need to be a head hit, which is why the helmet isn't necessarily that useful because your brain can rattle even on the inside. It might make a small difference, but I don't think it's enough to make any impact.
Yeah, Quinn, I think the helmet is just there for the player to feel a bit more secure. That's what it's all about. It's just,
it actually might even make him go harder. It might actually make him go harder because you think that you're more protected. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And Quinn is exactly right. It's not about hitting you in the head, right? It's about the brain moving. I know with Manny, because he hasn't got a brain, he doesn't understand this, but your brain moves and it hits the skull. That's the problem. You can put as much protection as you want, but if I shake your head, that's why you don't shake babies, because you shake their head, you know what I mean? So I don't think the helmet helps at all. I think that
it was only a suggestion.
Yeah. I don't think it helps. I don't think it helps. The pendulum was one way in the 80s, in the 90s, where we used to just kill players behind the ball and everything. Now I think it's just gone too far this way, and they're trying to protect everything. Last night we thought, you know what, the pendulum will come back to some sort of like halfway point, But at the end of the day, I believe we cannot it's a gladiator sport, and the players know this when they come into the game. They know that. And I think it was Gibson from Carlton who used to play. He was questioned and he was asked, and he said that if he was asked to sign a waiver before his playing career about the dangers of the game, he would. And I think most players would. They understand the dangers of the game. We take out this gladiator part of it. We're going to take out the soul of this game. I don't agree with that. I think if it's intentional, there was other player. What about your player Draper? Did you see the one where he's trying to get him? That's worse. That's worse. He should get 4 weeks, even though he didn't hit him, because
it was an intent. It was an intent to hit him, but there was no damage to it.
His intention was to do damage. I'm telling you, that's worse than what Peter Wright did.
Yeah,
Peter Wright,
you get a fine for something like that. But there was no damage. There was no,
No, I know, but if he collected him in the head, right, he would have got suspended. Yeah. Right, so they're doing it on the outcome.
He would have got
got him on the outcome. But what he did is worse than what Peter Wright did.
Of course. Yeah.
So where do you start? Where do you start? Where do you finish with this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where do you start? Where do you
the sad thing about it is that we've lost our full forward for the next 4 weeks for something like this. And And that's the downfall. We want to see our forwards play the game and go in hard. You're a forward, you go forward, mate. You don't go back. You don't go sideways like these players go now. You want to go forward, and whether it's a chest mark or an open hand mark, don't stuff this game up, mate. Honestly, don't
I don't get it. We ask them to be hard. We ask them. Every week we go in there and we ask them to be hard. We don't want them to take a step backwards. That's what we do. And then when they do, they get penalised, like look, maybe you should on a week. Just
maybe 4 weeks is harsh. I was just saying 4 weeks was maybe harsh. Maybe 2 weeks.
I'll tell you what, if it was Tony Lockett and Jason Dunstall and Matty Lloyd or Gary Ablett, they wouldn't be playing 200 games. That would have been suspended.
It was a different game. We do have to protect, and I think they've done a great job, the AFL and the players, in protecting the head. If you look at it, they do turn their bodies. They try not to high tackle. They don't sling them. So they've actually learned and they've done a good job. Because at the end of the day, we do have to protect these players. I do understand.
Yes,
I do understand that. But we can't take away the essence of this game, mate. Like they're just trying to make it so sanitized. We've got to just relax a little bit and say, you know what? Sometimes someone is going to get hurt.
It was an accident. Both players went for the ball. Play on, move on.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we all kind of agree that was a bit harsh. But I'll tell you now, as soon as I seen it, I went 4 weeks because I've been now institutionalized by this bloody AFL, and I looked at it and I went, you know what? He'll get 4 weeks for this. I didn't agree with it, but I knew what the outcome was going to be straight away. You know what I mean? And look, people can talk about like Cripps. He was exactly the same. He got away because they got what did they get? A mechanical bloody body engineer, whatever they got in there to say that he twisted and he done this, and they did the same with Maynard, like he did this. Yeah. Once you slow it down, anyone can say anything, man. I'm telling you, it's a fast, tough game out there, and sometimes players are going to get hurt.
It's an oval ball, mate. It can go anywhere. Just let the game go, mate.
I'm telling you,
that's the beauty.
Peter Wright didn't go for that. If Peter Wright if he pulled out, right, you would have had his head. You would have said, "What are you doing, mate? Go."
As a full forward, as a big full forward.
But any player, man, any player will you ask them to go in head first, and you ask them to, because a lot of players. Let's be serious. It's see ball, get ball. Hey, Quinn, you play the game, right? See ball, get ball. Is that what you're being taught?
I'm probably a little bit softer than I'd like to be, but yeah, absolutely. It's see ball, get ball. It's absolutely.
You can understand a young player, an 18, 19-year-old, they might back off a little bit because there's a big boys out there. But if you've got a 6 foot,
once you get AFL, there's no
110 kilos. He's not going to stop, mate. He's going to go straight forward. That's what he is, a full forward.
And the coach is going to want him that. I'm telling you, the coach is going to say, if he pulled out, your coach would have hammered him.
Bloody oath.
Would have hammered him, So, look, they can't win. They can't. It's I don't know anymore. Anyway, do we move on? We've decided.
Before you say anything, I'm really interested in what, and I agree with what John Holden said, that about the lawyers are going to be soon enough killing the game by all these class actions.
And that could be, and this could be an issue, you know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day, could there be an incident where all of a sudden they sue for malpractice? I mean, it is a workplace, you know what I mean? So that could happen. I believe that players should start signing waivers and saying they understand exactly what they're in for. Mate, you know that you could get hurt. You could get hurt if you play this game. You want the glory. And I'm telling you, I don't think there'd be one player who doesn't sign a contract, who doesn't sign like a waiver. I don't think there'd be one player.
It's the footy, mate. It's not netball.
In the AFL, I'm talking. I'm not talking about like your league, Quinn, because you don't get anything out of it. So I can understand. You said, I'm a little bit soft. Yeah, but, it's not your career. Like, you're not going to go and kill yourself and then you can't work anymore. You're not going to get anything for it. So it's a different kind of situation.
No, I do think it's actually it is a different situation. But no, I was obviously putting a little bit of mayo on it. But I see blokes at my level all the time. It's just the people that are built for this game. It's ingrained. Doesn't matter what level. It's just ingrained in them that they just go nuts for the ball. And you can tell the ones that are made for the game and the ones that aren't, and the ones that just enjoy running out there. But there's a certain players. Yeah. And they're the only ones that make it to the big league because they're there for that reason. They're built for the game, and it's ingrained in them to go hard for the football. And it's going to be hard to change that. And I don't think it'll. If you change it, you take away what's good about the game. And I think, like you said, Rock, it's a contact sport. You're going to get hit in the head occasionally. It's going to happen. We don't want it to, but it's going to happen sometimes, and you can't avoid all of them.
100%. No. Look, and Mr. Ratman here, I told you, unfortunately, we decided not to put your name up, but I do like your comments, so I will read them out, Ratman. Rocco, it's not a workplace. I don't get that. I think it is a workplace, isn't it, Quinn? It has to be a workplace.
Well, yeah, working in a footy club, I can say that it's definitely. I know it's different because they're playing sport and they're out in the field, but what they do 9 to 5, it is their job. It's what they get paid to do. They're there every day. They get trained. They get educated. So they're there enough to consider it a workplace.
It is a workplace. Anyway, listen, I think, like all things, it might get worse before it gets better. As I said, what happens is, to me, I see it every year, AFL, they kind of try to make examples of certain rules and certain things, and then they go overboard, and then they bring it back a little bit. You know what I mean? So they always do that. You know, the other one, I heard this the other day, and this is, remember the abuse of the umpires? You used to say, if you even pointed to the scoreboard, they would give you a free kick. They've relaxed on that now. Now they're talking back to them, right? So it's like they go, oh, we got to fix this, and then they go, and then and now they've relaxed it again. You know what I mean? There's no consistency, and I'm telling you, I've heard that, and they'll come in when there's a new rule. They'll come in at the start of the year, and they'll explain to them, this is what we're going to be doing this year, right? So they know exactly what's going on, but they're always changing it. Let's see. Let's just a few comments while we're here. The game is harder and tougher than ever before. Players are bigger, faster, more muscle, less fat. Players are traveling faster, so collisions are more violent. And that's 100%. In the 80s, the game might have been a bit more tougher because there was a bit more behind the play and punt. But now, mate, they're running like at top speed, man. It's like they're much more quicker. You know what I mean? And players are just naturally bigger now. Like, if you think about it, one of our greatest players, John Nichols, right? He's captain of the Carlton of the century, right? He was our ruckman. Patrick Cribbs is bigger than him. So players are naturally bigger now. Like, someone said this yesterday, I can't believe it, Ginnivan, right? No Ginnivan, no Collingwood. Ginnivan, how tall is he, do you reckon? Anyone got an answer?
185, maybe?
185. I know. That's true. That's pretty good. Yeah. But he looks like he's 176. He's a small.
I'm 176.
I should say that, Rock. There was that Harley Reid from West Coast. That Harley Reid from West Coast, the number one draft. They had a picture of him, and then they had a picture of Nat Fyfe when he was drafted. And mate, the difference. Look, Reid was like a matured player at fucking 18 years old, and Fyfe was like a skinny little rat, you know.
Reid's built like a brick shithouse. Yeah, they're completely different. Yeah. And I mean, you boys go around for it. So correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not old enough to have seen it. But you're talking about footy in the 70s, the 80s, and how it was tougher. I feel like it was just more dirty back then. Like, you were more likely to swing an elbow and throw a punch. I don't know if it was tougher in terms of the way the game is played. I think it was tougher in the sense that you could throw a punch and you'd get away with it. I think that might be the biggest difference. But I don't know. I wasn't there.
There was also within 20 years. It's amazing how Nat Fyfe was number one draft, and he was skinny as. Within 20 years, you've got number one draft at West Coast. He's like a matured, pure. He's like a man, mate. I couldn't imagine what that guy's going to be like when he's 5 years old. 5 years older.
But they also used to play in different type of conditions. Like I've seen games where you couldn't see the turf. All you'd see is nothing but mud, and puddles, and it was just a winter game, and it was played in its natural habitat. Nowadays, roof on, roof off, roof on, roof off.
The players obviously
the grass, the turf, everything is more homogeneous. And of course, hang on, I'm finished.
I'm in the mud and that's all fun and games for us. But at the end of the day, like, mate, we go to the MCG, it starts to rain, we all start to complain. Like, we want a safe workplace for them. I agree with that.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Rocco. All I'm saying is that we're comparing, as Quinn asked the question about how football was in the 80s, and he doesn't remember it because he wasn't around. In the 80s, sometimes you'd go watch games and you'd see the ground was just full of mud, but that was just the way it was. And that's what they played in. That was the environment they played in. You know what I mean? So it was a different type of ball game. It was rougher. It was dirtier. Even nowadays, it's a quicker game, but they're playing in different conditions. That's all I'm saying.
Look, I don't know how you know that, Manny, because the first time you went to a game was last year, so I don't know how you ever seen a ground. But to your question, Quinn, it was tougher because they used to run into each other, and there was behind the ball. I know what you're saying; it was dirtier, but there was also only one umpire, so you could get away with a lot of stuff. Now you can't get away with that stuff. So you're right, they were a bit dirtier. These days, they're bigger, they're faster, so the impacts are going to be more high impact. But in those days, remember Yates and Dermot Brereton? Mate, he went in there to kill him, and he ran straight through him. I don't even think there was there might have been a free kick, I can't remember, but and then Dipper broke his ribs and played through the whole game, so it's just a different. You can't compare two different eras.
No, certainly not.
All right, listen, we've got to move on.
The young fellas are built differently now, mate. They must
be
100%.
They're huge, man. They're huge.
18-year-old kid, mate, he's built like a big shit house, mate. 18 years old. What are you eating, mate? Cows? I don't know what.
Wow. Yeah, there's a bit more meat, a bit more bloody milk they're drinking. They're just huge. They're bigger now, man. Anyway, let's move on. We did I think we had something else to talk about, but we've been going on about this. So did you want to talk about the other thing, Quinn?
Yeah, we will touch on it quickly because I don't know a lot about it. It just came out today.
There was this Swans AFL players handed 2-match ban for being caught with illicit drugs. So that's the first thing. And then they did come out with this. They come out with some sort of what is it? Some sort of
So it's the AFL drug testing policy or whatever it was. They've been essentially covering up players for illicit drug use. So essentially what they've been doing is if a player came forward to the club, so just say we'll use Bailey Smith as an example because he got caught last year or whenever it was. Bailey Smith had to have come forward to the club before it got leaked, the photos, and said, hey, just so you know, I did a couple of lines on the weekend. I'm going to have something in my system. They were sending them to a facility, Dorovich Pathology, whatever it was. They were getting them tested. If they came up positive, they were ruling him out of the match, and then they were saying that it was due to a hamstring injury or a tight calf or something like that, and covering so that they wouldn't get tested on match day and get found to be using illicit substances, which on match day is considered performance enhancing. Mark, you know all about performance enhancers. They were doing that to avoid getting caught, so they were covering it up and using injuries as excuses. So what it's going to make everyone.
Who's not playing for Richmond this week, Quinn?
Half our side, mate. Half our side's not playing. It must be. But that's the thing. So now, Mark, what you're saying is not wrong. Now, every time you see a player that wasn't expected to be out, and you go, calf awareness, you're just going to presume he was doing lines a couple of days before.
That's
So
right.
you're not going to, now that we know, and the AFL even said we weren't hiding it from anybody, but no one asked us, so we didn't tell you. That's what
you know what, Quinn,
Well,
you're spot on.
apparently
There.
they-
I'm not going to go back too far into history here, Manny and Rocco here, but apparently the Privacy Act it come out in 2005, yeah? So any player that was taking drugs, it was a Privacy Act that they couldn't name the player.
Yeah.
And that's where the Essendon Football Club was made guinea pigs, that all those players were named for whatever the case was. And in 2005, the law was, or the policy was from the AFL, that never to bring out the name. So why can't we name the Melbourne players that were taking drugs a couple of months ago? Because it's a privacy now, is it? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Unless they reckon, unless the police are involved, and they've been charged with the drugs, they're not allowed to. It's the Privacy Act, but also they reckon that the AFLW do not have a drug policy.
There you go. That's even worse.
So how do you figure that one out? But they've named those two Swan players.
Give Joe Watson back his brown line, mate.
They gave him
Joe Watson back his brown line.
two week match ban. But then they turned around and said that the AFLW does not have a drug policy.
The AFL.
Let's be serious. Let's be serious and be quite frank here. You know why? The AFL don't really care about the AFLW. Let's be serious. They keep showing it that they don't care because they you know, it's one rule for one and one rule for another. So to me, they're just showing that they really don't care about the AFLW as much as they say they do. They don't. So anyway,
have you guys got any injuries this week, Rock? You boys got any injuries this week?
I don't know yet, but Quinn was just about to keep talking about this. We'll talk about that in a second.
I'm just trying to work out if they're either on drugs or not, mate. Because if
Sam Walsh has been on the bender. Sam Walsh has been on a bender.
Sam Walsh. Oh, mate, maybe he's on drugs too.
But the thing is, the difference between just say Manny Ginnivan or, like I said, Bailey Smith before, they got suspended for a couple of games because they got caught. There were photos of them doing it. The AFL has to protect the brand.
Exactly. Yes.
If you're doing, and it's the thing, if WADA or ASADA, whatever it is, the Australian body, if they catch you in the off season, if they come and do a test in the off season and they see that you've got cocaine in your system, they don't give a shit unless it's within 18 or 24 hours before the game or on game day. They don't care. If they catch you in that period of time, it's considered performance enhancing. That's when it's an issue, and that's when then your players get suspended for performance enhancing drugs. Like Joel Smith from Melbourne, he got done because he had coke in the system the day of a game. If you do it on a Tuesday and you play on Saturday and you get tested, it won't be in your system. That's why these players now come forward to the club and they say, look, Tuesday night, I had a big one. I'd rather get tested before I get caught on Saturday and I missed 2-3 weeks. Well, no, I think if you get caught on match day, it's a couple of years now, whatever it is. Willie Rioli there. Yeah, Willie Rioli there smoked a joint and you missed 2 years of footy. So
the player doesn't get named. They don't get named. It's just like you got an injury.
Yeah, well, no, but that's if they come forward and they tell the club in advance. But if they get caught on match day and they haven't said anything previously, that's when you cop those big suspensions. That's why you probably don't hear about it, because these players are going, I'm not stupid. I'd rather miss one game if I've got it in my system than get caught and miss 2 years of football and get embarrassed. And the club doesn't want to get embarrassed. So that's why they cover it up.
Everyone's trying to
Shouldn't
protect
the club
the
club should have zero policy. Shouldn't the club have zero policy?
Sorry for talking while you were interrupting there, Manny, but
that's all right, mate. So
everyone is trying to protect either themselves or their brand. So the club's trying to protect their brand. The AFL is trying to protect their brand. But
shouldn't the club have a zero policy? That's my question.
They've got
the club should have a zero policy.
It's 3 strikes. It depends how you look at it. It depends how you look at it, right?
You're saying about being a work environment. You're saying that that's their bread and butter. If that's their bread and butter, then there should be zero policy. Simple as that.
I agree.
You don't go suspending him for like 2 years, Manny. So say, for instance, you boys would have a massive policy for people, driving trains and so forth. So if someone got tested for, say drugs, would you sack that person, or would you say you're not fit to drive the train?
Straight away.
They're gone. They're gone.
No, they're not.
Yes,
they're sacked. They're sacked. Of course,
it depends.
It was
I think it's
on AAA, 3AW. They were saying there was somebody that come on about the transport, like the heavy vehicles and that if someone gets caught using illicit drugs, they don't sack them. It's all about the health and the care of the duty of that person driving.
Hey, Mark, I'll tell you right now, because I work in that industry.
If you get caught driving the vehicle, then that's a different story.
No, you're wrong, because I know people personally who have got sacked because they do random drug and alcohol tests even before. Wait a sec, let me talk.
Yes.
Even before you don't even have to be on duty and be on the premises. If you get caught with any alcohol or drugs in your system while you're on the premises, right, you will get the sack at work.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now, and I've seen 3 or 4 good friends who have got the sack after being great drivers for 10 years and come in and had very little alcohol before they signed on.
Yeah.
So I know in the train industry it's very, very strict, very strict.
Yeah. Mark, I think what you're referring to is, I think the train industry, obviously, like Rock and Manny is saying, clearly, I don't know how we got onto this topic. We're talking footy here. Different industries, but Mark, I know what you're saying, because I've worked in transport industry before as well. Obviously, I won't say where with heavy, and I know that they had a 3-strike policy where they were. So it's different from. So what you're saying is not necessarily wrong, but just doesn't apply to trains, and I'm sure buses and all public transport it wouldn't count towards. So
yeah. All right, move on. All right.
One more thing, Manny says it can't be. Oh, sorry, Manny, it can't be 0. Let's say a player goes out for dinner, the waiter puts drugs in his food. So there's got to be some sort of tolerance or something. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a weird industry. It's a weird situation. Anyway, let's move on. We have got some games to talk about. What do we got here? All right, let's get into the games. Do you want to talk about your games, or you just want to move on to next week?
I don't even want to talk about next week the way we're looking at them.
Nah, I think the people want to hear about next week. Let's start with on the Friday. Was it Friday night or Thursday night?
Thursday, tomorrow.
No, last week.
You're talking about this week. Okay. All right.
Bloody hell. Manny thought that they would smash them. They were 14-10, 94 to 12-7 to 79, 79. Absolutely, really. That score kind of flatters them, because I think that Collingwood got beaten around the ground. They were soft. They were weak. They weren't going in for their tackles, and they were lucky they were in it. Manny, this was your game. Did you watch it? Did you go?
I did watch it. It was disappointing.
Did you go?
No, I didn't. It was disappointing because my son wasn't well, so I stayed home with him to watch it on the telly. It wasn't a good game. It was a pretty average game. Look, at the moment, you've got a very small amount of players that are really showing that they're back to play footy this year. A lot of the other players, it's like they're still on holidays. I don't know. But having said that, I'm not going to take anything away from GWS, and I'm not going to take anything away from the Swans, because those two teams are looking super good this year at the moment.
What about the Saints?
The Saints, look, maybe they did it for one of their legend players who passed away from mental health. Maybe I don't know. But just, at the moment, Collingwood showed glimpses, some really good glimpses, but having said that, Pendlebury, he looked, looked lost. You side bottom, he looked lost. I mean, apart from Jamie Elliott and the Dacos brothers who really, were.
Talk about Dacos. Nick was pathetic, man. He pulled out of the contest so many times. His weakest piece, that bloke. Seriously, he was even like shown by some of the commentators.
When you say his weakest piece, he got injured. He got injured last year. The way he got injured, going for the ball when two Hawthorn players smacked into him. All right, he sustained that injury. You're calling him weakest piss, right? No other player would have done what he did to come back.
No other player would have. That's a big statement. That's a massive statement. No other player would.
And he played in the grand final, and he won the premiership, Rocco.
All right. So as I was saying, Dacos is weakest piss, and the actual commentators, they actually showed footage of how many times he went in with one hand, didn't go in for the tackle. Everyone knows he's an outside player, and that's fair enough. Just admit it. He's soft as, and as I was saying, Manny, the commentators actually showed the footage. He's one of your biggest problems, right? That he's an outside player. You haven't got many uncontested ball winners.
He's a superstar.
Pendlebury looks done. The go is still at Barley. Mason Cox, seriously, is a disgrace to the game. He's actually embarrassing, and I would deport him, right? So that's how bad he is. He's tough when he runs through Mumford, right? But he's got like 4 possessions in the last 2 weeks. He's an absolute disgrace. Your whole team's a disgrace. Most fraudulent side I've ever seen.
Let me tell you, you're talking about Mason Cox, but he's a premiership player. Yeah?
Yeah. Just quickly on the where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where's he gone?
You want him back?
Where's he gone? Yeah, I want him back for a second. Manny, quickly on the game. Man. I did watch a little bit of it. I noticed the chant Collingwood.
Bunch of losers.
Collingwood. I don't know. It sounded like 0-3. 0-3
is the epitome of a Collingwood.
Go to Pines! Come on!
Yeah. Come on.
I'm from Maui! I'm from Maui!
These are a disgrace. And you know what's funny, man? Again, they started to leave in droves. Yes. They are the most bandwagons. Did you see it? And people like Manny don't even go to the game, right? They've just won the most fraudulent flag I've ever seen in my life, and still, after 3 losses, they 79,000 to the G. That is a disgrace for someone who apparently has got the most supporters around the world. You had 79,000.
It was a Kilda's home game. You probably didn't know that, but it was a Kilda's home game.
When it's a away game, Carlton rock up in droves. They haven't won a final.
You probably don't know this.
7,000 game.
You probably don't know this.
But you guys,
it was meant to be played at the Etihad. Right? It was meant to be played at Etihad. Did you know that? The game was meant to be played. The game was meant to be played at Etihad, and then the Saints decided to move it.
Where is Etihad?
What's it called? That you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know, because that's the whole issue. You don't even know what grounds are called. Do you know that we've got 2 grounds in Melbourne? You don't even know that. Anyway, let's move on, because
they moved it from the smaller ground to the MCG. All right, and good on them.
And he's still left in droves.
80,000 people. How many was it? 79,000.
That's a disgrace from your team. You should be getting 100,000. You said you got like 1 million supporters. You know why? Because people like you, right, plastic supporters that have got no genitals, don't go to the game. You're a bunch of bandwagon. All right, let's move on to the next one.
I can't believe you'd be talking about my genitals.
This one's for you. there. You said that you were going to win, but in actual fact, the Swans made you look second rate. 1917, 131 to 15-11, 101. The only good thing that came out of that game was that Peter Wright got 4 weeks.
Oh, fair enough. Well, you know what? You know, the disappointing thing about the game was that, you know, we kicked over 100 points and still lost the game by 5 goals. That was the only, you know.
You got a couple of cheap goals.
I guess it's a good thing, but a bad thing, you know, because to kick 100 points and still lose just goes to show that we've got potential kicking goals. But in saying that, we were missing our triple R's. Triple R's, Backman, Redmond, Ridley, and Reed. So obviously, you know, Sydney got those goals behind play because we didn't have those 3 very, very genuine backmen in our side. So we were there with 2 goals, 10 minutes to go in the last quarter. You know, it's anyone's game, and we fell down by 5. But I think that 30 points didn't really justify. We bet him in the clearances, but Zach Merritt, superstar, mate. You know,
but that doesn't matter. These clearances are really a little bit overrated. I mean, if you're not winning in the clearances, you know, you got to win. You got to win in another way, maybe transition and that, and you can't do it. You just
the transition was hurt us because we missed 3 kind of you know, genuine.
3. I can't remember the total. The Swans punished you on transition. That's where they got most of their goals. Yeah.
Correct. And obviously it was due to, you know, not manning up in defence, but and we were missing those 3 players. But centre clearances, we took over. Look, I mean, it's in Sydney. They're an informed team at the moment. Good on them. Like I said, we're a couple of goals down, 10 minutes to go. It could have been anyone's game. And obviously they kicked a few more goals within junk time and took the 4 points. But look, I would have liked us to, you know, get the 4 points, but we didn't. And you know, I'm confident this week we'll bounce back.
Really? No peptides up 3/4 time. I reckon that was the whole issue. And seriously, now one more quick before we move on to your bloody shit drug addict team there, right? Yeah. Yes. Your coach comes out and says they want to be tough and all that, and that's fair enough. You know what I mean? But like I said to Plastic Manny there, if you're going to wear the white boots, you better know how to play the game, you know. And yeah, you went out tough, but there's a way of being tough, and there's a way of winning the game. And the Swans players went back at you after the game in their interviews and that, and they said, yeah, they try to be tough, but at the end of the day, they were pretty weak on the ball, and pretty much it was that, man. I think that you were too wound up on trying to be this tough team, and you let the Swans really run all over you. You forgot about playing the actual game.
Yeah, I don't reckon the Swans ran all over us, to be honest. Like I said, Rock, we kicked over 100 points, but you know, that could be a building process from Brad Scott, obviously a hard nut player for Brisbane, and he's maybe now is his second year into coaching at the Essendon Football Club. He's trying to build maybe a little bit of that toughness into the side. We might have overreacted a little bit on the weekend, but keep that in our side. And I'll tell you what, opposition teams will start thinking twice about playing Essendon, because I think they will have that little bit of that toughness in them, and that's what we've needed for the last 15 years. We needed that little bit of toughness. So I think it's going to be a building process.
I don't think teams are really worried about you. Who's going to replace Peter Wright?
Well, look, I mean, he hasn't really kicked like 7 goals or 8 goals per game. So I think we've got a young fellow by the name of Caddy. He'll come straight through. We've got Wiedemann, you know, one of Carlton's brothers, might possibly play. And, you know, look, it's all about, you know, it's not about the forward anymore, Rocco. You know, it's not about the full forward anymore. It's about the flanks and the pockets. You know, it's not about the full forward going for the ball. So it might work out for us. You just don't know.
It might, but the rest of your team's shit. So I can't see how it's going to work out. But anyway, let's move on, because really, you're watching your team the other night. My eyes started to bleed. Let's go into the next game. And we've got here, what happened here? Final score, Richmond, it was your home game, 13-14, 92 to 18-14, 122. I actually watched everyone get onto Tiger then. I watched you, and you pretty gave a good wrap-up of your game. And just if you want to quickly wrap this up so we can so we can just move on, because really –
yeah, there's not a lot to say. There's not a lot to say. We're at that point. Like, well, I think everyone knows where Richmond's at the moment. We're not expecting to sort of knock over teams like Port. Although the fact that we were within 7 points at three-quarter time was a good effort to be in there with them. And I looked at the game. We were +1 in hit-outs. We tied them up in the clearances. We're -3 in centre clearances, +3 at stoppages, and +7 in contested possession. So I'm like, we actually did well, on paper. Then you look at the other things. There was no pressure. There was no intent. We're -16 in tackles, -33 in marks, and -41 in uncontested possessions. We just let them get too much free footy, and, that's not sustainable for 4 quarters of football. And that's why in that last, they were just able to run over the top of us, and it didn't really look like we had much to combat them. And, and now this whole drug topic we talked about before makes me question a few things. But Richmond's biggest issue this year, I think, has been the forced changes that we've had, especially late. 2 days before the game, Hopper and Broader laid out. Modest Rioli, he's on the ground warming up. He's a laid out. Now I'm starting to think, were they doing lines on the weekend, or were they actually injured? I don't know. But you look at I don't know. Now I'm confused, but I've written it down. But like some of the boys who are missing, and there's young guys here that are just missing out on development, which is what hurts me. So Gib Crispino's out for the year. Tyler Young with a concussion out for the year. I think these guys here, you're just crushing development from these young guys, and they're not getting an opportunity to grow, which is going to hurt us in the long run. But you also look, we're missing Hopper, Prestia, Graham, and Broad missed on the weekend as well. Missing that experience as well doesn't help. But yeah, I don't think we're obviously not expected to beat teams like Port. So I think we just I think we can find that pressure and that intent. We'll win a couple of games, and a few we're probably not expected to win. But yeah, and I do agree with Lou here. I don't know what that 50 was for. I couldn't tell you.
Well, that's it sometimes, yeah. But you're right. Look, I watched some of the highlights of your game, and I think you're that team now. You're that team there that you're going to struggle. You might win a few games. Now you've got injuries. Yeah, they're going to the bottom. They got injuries, and that's not going to help a team like yours at the moment when you're trying to rebuild and you're missing those players, and then you start losing them just before the game too. That really hurts, because a team prepares with a certain structure, and then all of a sudden it goes out the door. So. They're not going to be travelling too well. Did you think that now getting people like Hopper and Taranto, is that going to hurt you? I know it's hard to say, but is it going to hurt you in the long run unless you can really move up in the next couple of years quickly?
Yeah, I think if we can find a way to move up in the next couple of years, we might be okay. But I think we'll be. I think on paper, everyone looks at it and goes, they've messed up. They shouldn't have got those guys. They've thrown away their future. But in the lead up to Taranto and Hopper, we've had a few first-round picks that just haven't got much opportunity yet. And I think this is the year that we're going to start blooding them through and giving them AFL games. And I reckon I won't know till another year or two once these guys have all had games, and just me to look at and go, all right, they do or they don't have it before I make that call. But, exactly. I think what Jimmy said is right. I think those two boys, when we are rebuilding and we don't have these senior guys anymore, they will be our senior players, and you do need those when rebuilding as well. You can't just have a whole bunch of 18-year-olds running out there. We may as well be Gold Coast 10 years ago.
100%. And people don't realise this. Some people don't realise. Like, I don't think many you would realise this, but you can't get rid of everyone, because then what happens is if you've just got a button like, we're just going to try all the young kids and we're just going to keep playing, what's happening is your team's just going to get punished every week. And that's not good either.
Oh, you should know, because that's what happened to Carlton. Has been happening to Carlton for the last 15 years.
So what happens is you just can't have those. You need to have that experience floating through to keep that winning kind of mentality. You can't start getting rid of. You'll know that soon, Manny. with your Pendlebury and
maybe
your
you might be right. You might be right.
And then you've got a bunch of soft players
but
like
at the moment,
you know exactly. Sorry for talking while you were
pitching,
interrupting there. Sorry for talking and we did discuss this before the show, not to talk while I'm interrupting. But yeah, so that's what I think. I think that you can't. And when you did get those players, just quietly, you were at a different stage, Richmond, right? They were. Well, you thought you were, of course. So anyway, that's pretty good. All right, let's go. 3 losers there. What are we going to do here? We might as well have a look at this.
All right. So GWS on top. Carlton's still in the 8, and of course they are. They've won 2 out of 2. St Kilda is just out.
We've only played 2 games, remember, too.
No, that's what I just said, Rocco. You've got to get rid of that.
We won 2, but I'm saying we've only played 2 where a lot of
that's what I just said. I said you've won 2 out of 2. How simple do you want me to explain it to you? You've played 2 games and you won both of them there, Rocco. Is that slow enough for you? Now, and of course, you got Collingwood, Richmond, and the Bombers who were sitting outside the 8, but the Bombers at least have got to win. So,
but as I was saying, Manny, you said 2 out of 2, but you didn't explain, right, that a lot of those teams around us have played 3 games.
I know
that's
you
what
played
I was
2.
trying to get.
I said you've played 2 out of 2.
And I was trying to explain to you that a lot of those teams around us have played 3 games.
That's right.
Makes a huge difference.
No, we've only played 2.
For example, like you played 3 games.
Very big difference.
We're still 8 points. And you played 3 games, and you have won. You got 0 points.
Thank you for talking over me. Thank you for talking over me. Thank you for talking over me. But I was just going to say that you had the bye last week. You've won 2 out of 2, so you're in a prime position at the moment. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, you've won 2 games. You're on 8 points.
Talk about your shit side now. So let's go to 4-0. You got the Brisbane Lions v Collingwood. It's at the Gabba Thursday, the 28th of March at 7:30 p.m. Are you going, Manny? Of course you're not. You don't even go to the MCG as if you're going to go and spend money and going to Brisbane. Have you ever been to an interstate game? Have you ever been?
Have I ever been to an interstate game?
Yes.
I have, yes.
Which one?
I've been to the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Yeah, which game?
Collingwood versus the Swans.
Which year?
1989. Yeah,
1989. Yeah, all right, 1989. That was the last time you went to a game. All right, anyway, listen, let's talk about your side there. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, look, we've got the Will Hoskin Elliott who's playing, who's back this week. We've got Johnny Noble who'll be playing this week, which is fantastic for us. Markov, he'll be not playing. Then it'd be interesting to see whether Sidebottom will be playing tomorrow. But having said that, the Brisbane Lions do not have Lachie Neale. And Lachie Neale is a big name when you're talking about Brisbane Bears. Double Brownlow medalist. So, I don't want to say too much. Will we win? It's going to be a big ask. But then again, they said the same thing, about Carlton. But all I'm hoping is I see a better performance. Whether we win or not, at the moment, I'm not too confident. But I want to see a better performance. That's what I want to do. I really want to see a better performance.
All right. You do want to see. I don't think they'll get up. They've got no chance, man. They're still pathetic. I mean, Brisbane will run ragged, will run rings around you, man. Yeah, seriously. You're one of the weakest teams I've seen. You're not going in. You're just absolute weak, man. I'm telling you, you're going in with one hand. No one cares. Even your coach has gone mad and talking about putting cheese on the lasagna. He's got no idea. The problem is with your shit coach was he's had a bit of a dream run, but as soon as can I finish? your shit coach has had a bit of a dream run, and soon as now the pressure's hit, you can see him falling apart because he's starting to blame. He's starting to talk about cheese on the lasagna.
No, he's not blaming anybody. He actually said that he takes full responsibility. At the end of the day, he is the person who is responsible, and he takes responsibility for everyone. That's what he said. Now,
but he blamed the lasagna. He blamed that you shouldn't put cheese on your lasagna.
You're talking about 3 years ago when he took over the team, and he did so well, and last year and the year before, and then of course last year we know what happened. I won't say it because I don't want you to take me off the air because that offends you.
What happened?
But
what
the facts are, you know, Carlton lost 6 games. At one stage, you lost 6 games, and you almost played Collingwood in the grand final, almost, till you guys fell.
I told you not to ever mention that stupid fucking grand final. So I
didn't mention the grand final. I said that you guys played. You lost 6 games, and you managed to play against Brisbane, and you almost played in the grand final. Is what I said. Okay. So
let's move on. You're a bunch of Cox is the worst player. Can we just get some more in the comments? Is Cox the worst player to ever play in a premiership? As I said, he had a bit of a dream run. Now that the pressure's on, he's falling apart. You can see in his press conferences, he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what's going. And I think he could be the next coach sacked. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Oh, this is a big game. This is an important game. North Melbourne v Carlton, 15th versus 7th. There you go. Friday, the 29th of March at Marvel. Why isn't this an important game, Manny? Are you laughing at the Children's Hospital, are you?
I didn't laugh. I didn't say anything.
I heard a little bit of a chuckle there when I said it's an important game. So anyway.
What makes you think it was me? Why would I chuckle? Why would I chuckle?
Because when I go to the other screen, when I go to the other screen, I can still see you, Manny.
Yeah, I can see you too, Rocco. First and foremost.
Anyway, this is the Good Friday.
That's right, Good Friday appeal. And you know what? And
this is my game. I want to talk about my game. This is my game. This is the Good Friday. As I said, this is my game. I want to talk about my game. This is the Good Friday appeal. We are doing a lunching at Donini's. All money raised will go to the Good Friday appeal. So that's happening on the Friday at Donini's. A great Carlton man there, and then the game is at Marvel. We're gonna all head down there. They already said it's a sellout. Look, at the end of the day, what can I say? I'm not even going to give a margin. I believe that Carlton should win this if we think we're going to be a contender this year. North Melbourne showed last week that, they'll play some good football at times, but when they got to that third quarter, they were actually Collingwood and North Melbourne would be a good game because there wasn't one defensive bone in their body in that third quarter. When they let them run a little bit wild in that first half, they kicked a few goals. But when the pressure was on, there was not one defensive. So we should win this game pretty easily.
Well, the two brothers will be playing up against each other this game. Won't it be?
What brothers?
Isn't one of them playing for Carlton? The other one's gone to North Melbourne?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
No? Or has he gone to Essendon?
It's about Essendon. Essendon.
So I realised he had gone to either North Melbourne or that other shit team, Essendon. So I do apologise.
Oh, shit team now, is it? Oh, okay.
We have reached new heights that Manny doesn't even know anymore. He's trying to be funny. He doesn't even know what's going on. We've been talking about the Mackay brothers for like ages, and all of a sudden you've gone. There will be one interesting factor, which I don't think is very interesting, but it is a little bit interesting. Zach Fisher plays for North Melbourne now, and so it's always interesting to see like a player go to another side. He left on his own accord. I think he did get his I think they did say to him, listen, you're probably not going to get a lot of senior time. So he made a decision to move over. So that's always interesting. Yeah, here we go. Matula's straight on you. Ben Mackay, wrong team. Yeah, what's that say?
Bubuna.
What's that mean?
Bubuna means like a like a fat end.
Yeah, that's you. Manny.
You.
Sometimes you should just be quiet. Brian Taylor will be lining up as sub. Yeah, you got anyway. So let's move on to the next ones quickly. What do we got next? Essendon St Kilda. That's going to be bloody interesting. 10th at Marvel again on Saturday again in the middle of the day, 16:20, which is 4:20 in the afternoon. Quickly, Mark.
Yes, it's going to be a crackerjack of a game. Twilight at Marvel Stadium there. We've got a couple of players coming back this week. Redmond, Ridley, Darcy Parish. We forget about him. Dylan Shield. We forget about him as well. To cover for right, I reckon either they'll bring in Caddy or Wedderman, or they might throw Mackay forward. So it'd be interesting this week. But it's going to be
yeah, that's about right.
It's going to be a crackerjack of a game, mate. And Ness will just come out and just 2 goals.
What?
That's all.
Essendon will come out and 2 goals. You know, I love that. So
it's going to be a good game. It's worth the watch.
We'll go into our tips. We'll go into our tips and but I actually think St Kilda aren't that good. I don't think they're that good. So you actually might get a chance. Collingwood really made them look good the other night. They're not even that good. And now, anyway, it's going to be interesting. Let's move on to the next one. What can I say? You're all shit, so it really doesn't really matter to me. You're all a bunch of duds. And here's another dud side. Richmond v the Swans. They're on Sunday at Marvel again. They're getting their money's worth. They're at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You're getting all the prime time matches there.
4 o'clock Easter Sunday. That's prime time footy right there. Where would you rather be on Easter Sunday at 4 p.m.? But I'm not sure what was going on there. The game is actually at the G, which I think, it's at the G because the Dogs are playing in the afternoon at Marvel against West Coast.
I looked that up and it said Marvel, so I don't know what that actually was on the AFL app, so that's why I put it down. So it's at the G, is it?
Yeah, no, I could tell the app got it wrong because it was the screenshot you posted, but the butchered it. Yeah, no, it's at the. I know it's at the G because I'll be going solo on Sunday, being Easter Sunday. No one wants to come. When fair enough for the way we're going at the moment. So I don't know.
Easter lunch, mate. After lunch, I'll be like.
It's just another day where I just want to see some of the kids and see how they're improving. That's really all you look for in these sorts of games. Swans are the best team in the comp right now, them and GWS. So I'm not expecting a hell of a lot, but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind just a bit of effort. And look, if we're competitive, I'm happy. I know again, no one wants to say you'll take honourable losses, but against Carlton, I thought we were competitive. Port were competitive for most of the game. If we're competitive, that's all I can ask for with where we're at.
You're unlucky against Carlton. Against Carlton, you're unlucky.
Not good enough.
We were unlucky. Carlton were the better side on that night.
100%. We let you in. Manny. Yeah, not even StreamYard wants Manny on screen. I didn't do that. That's StreamYard going, you're a fucking, what did they call him? What is it?
Baboona.
That's what you are. You're a big baboona.
I don't mind that at all. That's my new favorite word, but I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Baboona.
How do you pronounce it? We're going to get that right. All right, let's, while we wait for Manny. I was going to say, let's do the tips. What's going on here? I can see another screen now. So he's gone off there and he's gone on to this. What the fuck is going on here? I've got to take you on the phone. Did you go on your phone or something now? Did you?
I do apologize. A slight technical issue.
You let the battery go flat.
Yes, I did.
You are a bloody. You want it? That is amateur.
I tell you what. It's exactly many of them when I got StreamYarded. You know what, Peter? I at the moment I just feel the way Collingwood at the moment are playing. I'm even out of touch at the moment. So
yeah, well,
I do apologize. I do apologize.
Anyway, yeah. All right. You know what we're going to do? Let's go to the tips, eh? My God, it's 9:36. Will you please stop talking, mate? Like,
what are we at the moment in the tips, Rocco? You must be in front.
I'll show you after we give our tips.
Right. All right. Well, we'll get cracking on the tips then. Manny, we'll go back to Thursday night at the Gabba. Brisbane and Collingwood both looking for their first win of the season. I know Carlton beat them up there, but it's rare that I'll tip against Brisbane at the Gabba, just being their little fortress there. So I'll go with Brisbane.
Yeah, spot on, Quinn, mate. I don't think Brisbane's going to lose 2 in a row there. So it's 0-4.
What are you gonna do, Manny? Are you gonna go with your heart, or are you gonna go with that big head of yours?
Listen. Don't worry about the size of my head, okay?
When you put your head like that, it looks even bigger.
Well, look, at the end of the day, it is a big head. It's a Greek head, very solid head. Now, look, I can't go against Collingwood. I really can't. That's at the end of the day, I've got to go with my heart.
Good.
All righty. Well, the Good Friday game, Rock, like you said, plenty of meaning behind this one. Not necessarily the game, but because of what the game stands for. And if Carlton lose this, then they may as well hang them up. They'll win comfortably.
I agree. Anyone else going with North Melbourne?
No.
No. Normally after the bye, the team after the bye tends to lose. So Carlton's coming off the bye. This is my upset game.
North Melbourne. So go for North Melbourne.
North Melbourne by 2 points.
All right, I like it because I'm going to move even further ahead from you. Beautiful. All right, so North Melbourne.
All righty. The second game on a Friday, which is interesting. We don't normally see 2 games on a Friday, but we've got Freo and Adelaide at Optus Oval. Normally I'd go Adelaide, but the way Freo have been playing, I'm impressed at the moment, and Adelaide haven't convinced me just yet. So Fremantle for me at home.
I'm the same. Fremantle, Adelaide, exactly, man, have not been very convincing this year.
Yeah, I agree. Fremantle.
Yeah, Fremantle for me too, boys.
Nice. Keep going.
All righty, Mark. Your boys, prime time, Saturday, 4:20. Where would you rather be watching footy than on a Saturday at 4:20 in the afternoon? If I was doing the flip of the coin, this would be my flip of the coin game because I really don't know how to read either side at the moment. I don't know. This is a tough one for me. I think I'm leaning slightly more towards the Saints, unfortunately, Mike. They play Marvel Stadium really well. If it was at the G, I'd probably go Essendon, but I think they play Marvel really well, St Kilda.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Look, I was almost going to go for Essendon because I don't think St Kilda are that good, but I do really think that Peter Wright really is going to fuck up your structure. Yeah, I mean, so I am going to go for the Saints.
Yeah, well, like I was just saying, Rock, they're missing their full forward, Ben King as well. So
he's got a week too. You are correct. Yeah.
So let's just, it could have been a flip of the coin, but it's not going to be a flip of the coin for me. It's going to be Essendon by 12 points.
Saints for me.
Yeah. And Mark, like I said, this one could have gone either way. Honestly, I really couldn't pick the two. So it was a close one. But we move on. Saturday, 7:30. This will be actually a really good game. We got Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide take on the D's at Adelaide Oval.
I'll go first. I'll go Port Adelaide. It's at home there, and I think Port Adelaide will take it. They're playing some you saw them firsthand.
Yeah, I saw them firsthand. Yeah, I think Port Adelaide as well. They're just playing some good footy. I don't know if Jake Lever's confirmed in or not, but if he comes back in, it'll help Melbourne a lot. But yeah, I still think Port will be strong and their home deck.
Yeah, Port for me.
Yeah.
Port.
All righty.
Port Adelaide for me.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All righty. So Sunday afternoon, Easter Sunday, 1 o'clock at Marvel Stadium. The Western Bulldogs take on the West Coast Eagles. And on paper, this is a pretty one-sided match. But if you remember, late last year, the Eagles were the team to knock the Bulldogs out of the finals by beating them at Marvel Stadium. Yeah. So a bit on this one. But the Dogs, they just can't lose. They can't lose the Dogs. So, yeah. Doggy.
Yeah, doggy.
Yeah. No, it's not going to happen again. Bulldogs for me. Yeah, it's not going to happen again. Bulldogs for me.
100%. But that number one draft pick, what's his name? For
Harley Reid.
Mate, he looks like a player.
Yeah, it will be good to watch. Him and Riley Sanders will be going head to head as well, which is the Dogs. I think number 6 pick maybe, and he looks like a gun as well. So that'll be good to see them two clash. Over to the MCG at 4 p.m. where I'll probably be one of the only 5,000 people sitting in the crowd for this one, I would imagine. Richmond take on the Swans, and as you know, Rock, I go with my heart, not my head. So I'll be Richmond.
Already put the R for you, man. Look, it was already.
Thanks, mate.
I'm going
this one here, mate. Quinn, this one here, mate. It's it's flip of the coin, mate. It's flip of the coin.
Are you doing the flip of the coin?
Wow.
It has to be for Richmond. It's at the MCG. They can't lose another game there, mate. They've got to win. So anyway, let's go flip of the coin. So heads Richmond, tails Sydney. It is heads.
And the Tigers.
That's another one you're going to lose, Mark. Yeah, I'll go for the Swans.
Yeah, I think the Swans are just too good for you, but yeah.
Might be the only time I hear it this week, so I'm going to make the most of it.
A bit of love. Petra Khan, she's a great supporter of the channel. Tigers,
thank you, Petra. Thank you. One of these days, Richmond's going to pull an upset that no one expects, and I'll get it on everyone.
How bad is that you're saying that Richmond have to pull an upset? How things have turned.
Oh, yeah. It happens quick as well. It happens very, very quick.
Life comes at you real quick.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Hard to win 4 in a row these days. Very hard to win 4 in a row, mate. So I reckon Richmond will settle them down.
All right.
All right. Hopefully. Well, that was it for the week. And then we move on to next week, the Easter Monday game, which is always a big clash. Hawthorn take on Geelong at the MCG as well. And I think the Cats are back. I think they're contending again. So they're back. So Geelong for me.
Geelong for me.
The Cats for me as well.
Yeah. Hawks actually, yeah. Yeah, they look like they're just rebuilding, so they might pull a win here and there. But as you said, Geelong look pretty good. Yeah.
And Hawks' backline is still so decimated, and I don't see who stops Hawkins and Cameron. So
Ginnivan in an upset.
Unless Ginnivan can do something,
Ginnivan. Oh, you'd like Ginnivan in your.
Ginnivan might do he might, but he's what's that, mate? No, not yet. No.
All right, that's it. And who's having the bye this week?
Gold Coast.
Yep. Gold Coast and GWS.
And the great Western Sydney.
All right. So there you go. We look at round 2 tipping after round 2, but it's really round 3, but it's officially round 2. Move to 17. Manny on 15, Mark on 16. Quinn, you are the worst tipper I've ever seen in my life, man. Like you just are shit out, man.
I go for an upset every week, and it does not work. It does not work.
I'm going for the upset plus flip of the coin, and I'm still up there, mate. So
yeah, and you're still on top of it.
That's another loss.
Might be a different story next week, Mark. I could see you being behind me.
All right, this has been a huge show, man. We're getting longer and longer. This is starting to become a Jumper Punch episode, by the way. But the funny thing is, man, we've had big numbers through the whole thing, man. So I want to thank everyone. You've been like absolutely amazing, man. You just stick by. So what I'm going to do is, before we go, I did say we have a little bit of a treat. Do we want to watch a little bit more of Rocking Around the Birds?
Yeah,
does everyone want to watch a little bit more? Let's go and see what happened at Northlands. Let's go.
Rightio, ladies and gentlemen, we are here at Northland Shopping Centre for Rockin' All Over the Burbs, episode number 4. We'll be talking all things Carlton, AFL and Schnitz Northland, and we're also going to ask the punters about Collingwood's 0-3 record. Let's have a listen to what they've got to say. Have a look at this. A reject shop. I reckon we found Mason Cox on special, ladies and gentlemen. Chippies. Are they yummy? Are the chippies yummy? What's he watching? That's it. Get the brand in. Hurry up, get the brand in. Zoom in. They're paying us every time we put our brand in. Come on, zoom in.
Oh, we love Rocker. He's the man, the myth, the legend.
Rossi, what's your favourite team? Yes. Of AFL. AFL. Aussie Rules.
Sorry, I'm not aware of that.
She's not aware of it.
No.
Ben's flying. Look at this, Ben. How you going? Good yourself. Very well. We're good. These are the hand pan fried schnitzels.
Pan fried, pan from, you name it.
Yeah, the avocado. We've got the cheese, the beetroot, the carrot, the cucumber.
Rocco, as the Greeks do, they pass you through the rod and puts you on the spit and turns and roasts you because we've won and you've lost and potentially you're going to lose another one.
I love it when my wife talks dirty.
That's all the paper section. We've got sorbent. We've got Kleenex. We've got Black and Gold, the regular brand, and then we've got Coles brand. Player. Don't pick the best looking bloke, just pick your favourite player.
Look, honestly, I'm a die-hard Apple girl. It's always going to be her.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm loyal.
He's kind of got hair like this.
I have a chicken stew.
Okay, all right, I agree with that, but what else do you have in it? Because it's a very important question. We need to answer this.
Tomato, lettuce.
Yep.
Now, if I was making it home, I put cheese, tzatziki,
okay.
but that, it didn't have that.
No?
Just the garlic sauce.
Okay, that's all right. That's okay. Just
It
plain
was
and
delicious.
simple. Plain and
All right.
simple.
Delicious.
Plain and simple. Look at this. Have a look at this. She's purchased Essendon cups as well. This is shocking.
Purchased them.
This is absolutely terrible. Hey, what is going on? Who's going to replace Pegger? That's the question.
See it off the street, really.
Yeah.
We'll
pop. Yeah, we've got Wally here. He's named after the NRL legend Wally Lewis, who played for the Broncos, big state of origin star. I've got a good joke for you. What's the difference between a bra and St Kilda football?
What's that?
A bra's got 2 cups.
Well done, brother.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I'll walk off with the head down, bro. I'll look for another cup.
See you,
Have a good one, boys.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Looks good, Rock.
There you go, man. That was a bit of rocking all over the birds at Northland. So we had a bit of fun with everyone, and that was good. It's always good fun to get out there and catch the full episode. It's on the Jumper Punch channel at the moment, so you can get down there and have a bit of a look at it. Yes, you are correct. I was trying to steal my youth there, man. Get back to the old wavy hair. Yeah, so it was a bit of fun. We speak to everyone, so make sure you catch that. And this week, we might be doing Rocking All Over the Burbs in Reservoir. We might be going down to the Reservoir, and I might have to jump onto the mic since it's my stomping ground here and start to talk to some of the
Collingwood territory, isn't it?
Oh, a little bit. I mean, you had the Shores up here, but we've got a lot of there's a bit of Collingwood territory here, So boys, hopefully you catch up with that. Catch up with all the shows. The Jumper Punch. You got tomorrow. You got the Change Room, which is big now. That's coming really good, man. They're going to be talking about how to. Tomorrow's going to be about how do they deal with the buy and change of routine in your life and how can you deal with that. So they'll be doing that. And then you got the young boys doing double, and then you got Blue Sunday, and then you've got our show, and then you got Quinny's Tiger Den. They're all there. And then when you're not doing that, you're going to ring up Corton and you're going to get yourself some security doors and you're going to lock everything up and we're going to have a bit of fun. So guys, anything left to say or what?
Happy Easter to all, fellas. Happy Easter.
Yeah, so we got this one. Great show. Happy Easter. Yes, happy Easter to all. Yeah. Great thing. So happy. You don't have your Easter till May or something, don't you?
Yeah. May the 5th, I think it is. Yeah, so it's May the 5th or May the 8th. No, I think it's May the 5th. It's on a Sunday, yeah.
Yeah.
So but next year we're going to have it the same time as everybody else.
Are you? You're going to be
stealing,
mate. You've got to pay the same amount for Easter eggs like everyone else.
Hey, you know what? We run it. You can't get any. You can't get any. And the other thing is anything that ain't sell, they're smart. They'll keep them away, and all of a sudden they put the prices up because they think, oh well, the Greeks now going to come in. They're going to start buying them. But.
That's a Bon Abasqua from Jay. That means happy Easter, of course. All right. Yes. All right. That's it. It's been a great show. Yous are a bunch of losers. Hopefully one of your teams can actually come with me next week and we can be winners, but I really can't. I can't see it. I really can't see it. 4-0, 4-0, 1-3.
Wow. Can you imagine if we all lose and Carlton wins? God save us.
Oh, it's going to be huge, man. I'm telling you, next week, man, man, if you lose, it's all over. I mean, the only chance of one of yous winning is if the other team are all caught for drugs, because I really can't see any other way that you team is.
I might be looking for a buy next week.
I think, mate, if it's not next week, it's going to be soon because I'm telling you, it's coming, mate. It's coming. Anyway, look, it's been great. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Get onto memberships and all that. We've got great things. Carlton Coin, Corton, do all that. Press, subscribe, like, share, and that's it.
Hot pie! Go to Bombers!